And now, the moment you've been waiting for.
Da 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 da
Hello everybody, and welcome to Banehorse. Now first and foremost, I just want to say that not every one of my openings will be that annoying. This one is just because this is my first video, and I am extremely excited. Secondly, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I plan to do with my channel. This is going to be a sculpting channel where my idea is to show you my process and just talk about a bunch of different things. Right now, I plan to upload Monday and Thursdays, and the only difference between the two is Thursdays will be days where I'm creating caricatures of my favorite YouTubers and talking about what they do, why I enjoy them, and maybe how I found out about them. And now for the main video. So for this video, I'm going to be creating my own character, which is Banehorse. Banehorse is basically a centaur, simple as that. So before I start any project, the first thing I do is I look up reference. And I'm not talking about one or two images, I'm talking about a ton. Reference is just as important as the art piece you are creating. It's like the blueprints for what you're trying to produce, and without it, your end product may look wonky or weird. Just imagine an architect trying to create a building without using blueprints. It might work, but it will most likely fail since there's no basic plan. If you're creating a sculpture or animation, it might also be wise to create a turnaround sheet. These help you get a 3D sense of the figure, but creating it in 2D. Now after reference, there are many different ways that I like to start my projects, but with this one, I started with a basic 3D sphere. I pulled different parts of the sphere out to begin my blocking phase. Now blocking is important in any art form because it gets all of your basic shapes onto the page. For the legs, I use Z-spheres to get a nice basic shape. Again, during this time, I am constantly looking at reference because I don't know what the proportions of a horse are off the top of my head. Another thing I like to do is work with my character in a neutral pose so that way I can use the mirror tool. I plan to have Banehorse rearing with its front hooves off the ground, but it's easier and quicker to work in a mirrored pose. Now obviously, down the line I will make it asymmetrical, but I will talk about that when I get there. Another thing you really need to remember is patience. Depending on the complexity of a project, some can range from days to even years. This project for me took probably about a week because I had to work on it around my day job. So the story of how I got the name Banehorse was kind of just an inside joke between me and an old friend. I don't really remember exactly how it went, but when I was in college, I was working out a lot and working on thesis, and I think I said I wanted to look like Bane, but I'm working like a horse on thesis, and then one of us said you will become a Banehorse or something like that. I don't really remember. Anyway, I liked the name a lot and it just stuck with me. Now since this is a more detailed sculpt and took me much longer than others, I need to break this video into parts. That way they aren't sped up to the point where I'm giving people seizures because of how fast things are flashing by on the screen. So one more tip about my process before I wrap up this video is, when I first started out, I would create my sculptures in ZBrush by pulling things out of a Z-sphere and dynameshing. For people who don't use ZBrush, dynameshing is a way to fix the digital mesh of polygons after you've pulled and pushed or have done whatever to it. This isn't a bad technique, and some people do use this, but what I prefer to do, and what you can see in this video, is I like to create an individual mesh for each different part of the body. For example, rather than having the legs and body as one mesh right away, I like to make them two separate pieces so that I have more control over the sculpture. Then later on you can merge the two meshes and dynamesh them together permanently to clean up your seams. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy this video. Stay tuned for the next one. Also, remember to check in this Thursday for my YouTuber sculpt, where I will be creating caricatures of your favorite YouTubers. So if you have any critiques on how I should set up my videos, please leave them in the comments below. Also, if you would like to see more of my content in future sculpts, please remember to like and subscribe. Hopefully once I start making more sculpts on here, I plan on 3D printing some, painting them, and then doing a giveaway to my subscribers. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.
Goodbye.